Hello, my name is Dorian Wilson, Program Coordinator at Amplify. Welcome to the video series where we highlight exceptional Amplify teachers, get to know them as educators, and find out what they're grateful for. Today, we have Amplify star Martyna. Tell us where you're from and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi there. As mentioned, my name is Martyna Stelter. I am from the Madison area, but I teach in the Orfordville School District, Parkview School District, down towards Janesville, Wisconsin, Beloit, Wisconsin.
Nice.
I am a third grade educator as well as a district technology integrator for our whole school district.
You know
So
what?
I've got kind of two jobs that I do.
That is pretty stinking impressive, by the way, too.
Thank you.
How you juggle all that, I'll never know.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm here to know about your teaching abilities. What teaching abilities do you have that you are thankful for?
Yes, some of the teaching abilities that I think that are super helpful for me is that I love to work with technology. That's partially why I decided to apply and become a technology integrator, is because we live in such a digital world that it's super helpful to be able to actually apply and use those skills in my classroom. So I'm willing to try those things out. In fact, because of the current state of the world, I have students that are constantly being either put on quarantine or themselves are sick, and so we have to use that technology to let them be a part of the classroom. So I think that's something that I'm really, really passionate about.
Right.
I think another ability is that I'm flexible and willing to just kind of go with the flow. And if things don't work out, I can acknowledge that and make the conscious choice to stop and try again, at another time or on another day.
That's super. That's a super important skill to have.
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard to admit, that you kind of messed up or had a difficult lesson. But I think it's meaningful for the kids to notice, hey, Mrs. Stelter realizes this did not go as well as she wanted to, and that's okay. And we're going to try again, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what life is about, is making mistakes and growing from it.
And then they can see that you're human, and
Absolutely.
how to get through those mistakes. So
Yes.
when they make their own mistakes, they don't have to try to hide them or cover them up. They can own them, kind of like the example that you're teaching them. And I think that's
right.
Super amazing and necessary in times like these.
Absolutely.
So what's the difference in your teaching now than before you started using Amplify products?
Yeah, so this is our third year with Amplify in our school district. This is only my fifth year as an educator. So, my career is pretty short, but the difference in the first 2 years, I taught fifth grade for those 2 years, and those kids require a lot of rigor. Third graders do too, but I think it's just a different level. Different districts, those are middle school age kids. And so before we had Amplify, we really didn't have a structure for reading, for writing, for language. And it was kind of do what you can, look at the standards and interpret them for what you think they are,
right,
and go with it. And as you mentioned, we're all human, but we also have our own expectations and interpretations of what a standard might need or what a standard might be asking. And so it was very difficult to kind of come together as a team and cohesively decide on an assessment or on an assignment. We are kind of noticing that right now, only because this is the first year that our district is implementing Wisconsin state standards. And so it's really throwing us for a loop because Amplify is Common Core. So we're kind of juggling, what is the correlation? How do they work together? But I think Amplify has provided a framework and a structure for us to go off of, which is huge. We've already noticed our kindergartners, this is their first year, or I'm sorry, this year is, I guess, how do I say it? My third graders were the first year or first class that started with Amplify in kindergarten. Right. And so we're seeing the tremendous growth that they've made, the vocabulary that they've acquired, the conversations that they can engage in is insane, because they are these tiny little learners that really have these comprehension skills, can really engage in that higher level thinking that prior to Amplify, we did not see.
Wow, that's pretty It's pretty important for sure.
Yeah, it gives me goosebumps. I mean, I was telling my husband, we're in our third unit right now, and we're learning about the human body, and I have an awesome connection because he's in medicine, and so being able to use these medical words and have that experience, and my kids are learning this at 8. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's amazing.
So what's something that you're looking forward to in the future with Amplify products, given, how it's helped you, or how it's been important in the classroom thus far?
Yeah, so we love utilizing the technology piece, being able to use Amplify Reading and be able to, practice those skills and be able to use the online reader. I think that's something that we would really look forward to. And I say we, speaking from a third grade team at our school, we've gone to Teachers Pay Teachers to get products from educators that have created Google Slides for lessons, because it's so much easier, so much more of a flow.
Right.
That I think having something like that coming directly from the curriculum, I think would be more meaningful, only because we would know those expectations are set and those expectations are the same, from the people who are creating the curriculum versus from, like I mentioned earlier, those people who are interpreting what it could mean. So just having that consistency of being able to use something and knowing that it is vetted and knowing that it comes from the source would be very beneficial.
I can understand that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
we take what we get right now, and it works wonderfully, but being able to have something, I think, would take it to the next level.
The next level. That makes sense. So what school relationships are you grateful for?
Yeah, I think school relationships, especially this school year, it seems, even though this is technically year 3 of pandemic teaching,
Oh my God.
this is probably the hardest year. And so having my grade level has been huge. I feel very comfortable with the individuals that I work with. I know that I can push them and they will go with the flow, and they will pick up the slack where I feel like I'm struggling, and vice versa. So we work really well as a cohesive unit. And then we also have a group of women that I feel really close to, because we're all around the same age. We're all around the same kind of life experiences, having babies, getting married, so being able to lean on each other, and talk to someone who knows what's happening, being able to vent about, oh, this occurred, or this happened, or this person made me mad. And they know who they are, which,
right.
or they know what the situation is, versus coming home and telling my husband, who's like,
I don't know that.
Yep. That sounds like that could be really upsetting. But you have a group of women that you feel close to, and I've been fortunate enough to have that. Those are people that I can lean on when things get hard.
And I'm sure it's a next level of support that kind of helps you get through.
Yeah, it's different to have, one of my best friends is a teacher, and so we talk every morning on our way to work, and it's great to be able to kind of spill the beans and talk about what's happening, what's going well, what's not. But it's different when those people that you can lean on are actually at your school, because they know they are in that battlefield, on that battlefield with you.
Right.
Yep. Fully submerged.
Absolutely. So this is our last and final question, but I always believe that this one is the most important question.
Yep.
Are you ready?
I think so.
What do you love about teaching?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I mean, like I said earlier, this has been, I think, the hardest year, the year that I feel like it's April and it's only the beginning of November, just because I don't know what it is. Something is just different. I think it's the uncertainty that we're facing, but what makes me coming back is that I have a really awesome class. I have 18 awesome personalities that in years prior, I had a bunch, a group of kids that I was like, wow, like these are kids that that are going to do something. They're going to be these awesome people. And I can genuinely say that this whole class has personalities that they're going somewhere.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. And the spark that they have, you know, the participation. And I think partially it's just they've been exposed to things that really push them. They've had curriculums that really push them. They've had relationships that they've built that have created these awesome little humans that are just so engaged and so fun to hang out with.
Right.
And I think that's really the biggest thing, is just knowing that I have kids that I really care about and appreciate and can learn alongside. You know, I don't have to teach them, I can learn alongside them. And that's the biggest thing.
And that's,
they are just really cool people that come in with very, very different abilities that I get to learn from.
Well, thank you, Martyna, for sharing with us today and sharing all the things that you are thankful for. We here at Amplify look forward to sharing more teacher experiences. And as always, we are grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.